What we're going to be talking about here today is basically simple to the straight point. It's going to be talking about NASCAR. Because for everybody that watches my channel and for anybody that does not watch my channel, for all of you that are new to me, that are new friends I made in the past couple of days, past couple of months, the favorite sport that I do have and the one thing I do love talking about is sports in the main simple point. And the main sport I love in general is NASCAR. Now, one of the biggest reasons I got into NASCAR, I've already talked about, it was Looney Tunes back in action. And one of the biggest reasons why I still love the sport today is due down to me having a favorite driver. As you can currently see right now, I'm wearing a Hendrick Motorsports jacket, but this is not the one of my favorite driver. This is the one of my favorite driver. My favorite driver was Jeff Gordon. Now, what does it mean for NASCAR? What does NASCAR really mean to me? I mean, in a simple standpoint, NASCAR is my life. Like, quite simple. Like, NASCAR is the one sport I refuse to miss. Even if I don't really talk about it, if I don't really review it, I will watch. I've watched every single NASCAR race, whether it's in like catching up on highlights, catching up on the full race. If I have it recorded, I've watched every single NASCAR race in my life since I've been a fan of the sport. Because this is the sport I love the most, and it's the sport that excites me the most. Because a lot of people can look outside, and a lot of people that look outside can see NASCAR as a sport. It's just like, oh, they're just going in a bunch of circles for 400 laps or 400 miles. And I've even had some people ask me, whether it's family members, whether it's not family members, they'd be like, how does NASCAR really work? Like, are they going around for 400 laps, or are they going around for 500 laps? And I'd be like, no. The name of the race is how many miles they're running. So let's say the Daytona 500, which is NASCAR's opening race. How many miles are they running? They're going to be running 500 miles. 200 laps and 500 miles, going at least 212 miles per hour every single lap. And keep in mind, sometimes they're going 2 and 3 wide. Imagine going on a highway with about 43 cars right around you, and you have to keep and the thing is, you're on a bank curve. So it's like you're on a bank curve and you have to keep your car straight while there's 43 other cars surrounding you. That is very, very tough to do. And that is one of the reasons why I love NASCAR when it comes to this. Because that isn't tough to do. A lot of people can go on the road. They can speed on the road. They can speed on the highway. But you gotta realize that when you're speeding on the highway, at most, you're going at least, possibly, I'd say at max 140. These guys are going to 180 or higher, and they're doing this consistently every single lap with other cars going around them. And keep in mind, they're going at tracks where they have banked curves, and some of the bank curves are really, really steep. I'm talking like 30, 34, 35, even to 40 degrees banking of the curving. And these guys are controlling their cars at a certain simple standpoint where they have to keep control. These cars are not easy to drive. Sometimes they're tight, and if you don't know what the meaning of tight means, the tight means your car is going to be closer hitting wall if you're coming into the corner, or coming off the corner. And if you're loose, that means your car is closer to spinning out, whether you're coming into the corner, during the corner, or the exit of the corner. Now, when it comes to NASCAR specifically, there are races at many different tracks. Obviously, I just mentioned the biggest track of NASCAR, which is Daytona 500. It's the opening race. It's raced at Daytona International Speedway, which in terms is a plate track / super speedway track. What does that mean? It is longer than 2 miles in distance. Then NASCAR also has the mile-and-a-half tracks like at what used to be Atlanta. They have Texas, they have Charlotte, they have Kansas. These are all mile-and-a-half tracks, meaning they are longer than 1 mile. And then you have NASCAR's mile tracks. You got tracks like Dover, New Hampshire, tracks that are a mile, and then you got short tracks that are shorter than a mile. Which specifically, if you want to know the 2 tracks that are shorter than a mile, you got Bristol, you got Martinsville, and you got Richmond. These are all different type of tracks that these guys have to go in every single year. 36 races into a season, doing this multiple times, and I want to give these guys these praise because these guys are putting it on the line. All it takes for one bad crash for just for something bad to happen. Let's not forget, it was 2001, the Daytona 500. Dale Earnhardt, he passed away in NASCAR, and a lot of people are like, you can't really die in NASCAR. Dale Earnhardt passed away in 2001, and the one thing that cost him his life was his harness. He was not wearing a harness. Had he been wearing a proper harness, Dale Earnhardt would have survived that crash, and Dale Earnhardt would be alive right now. And if Dale Earnhardt were to be alive right now, a lot of things in NASCAR would be a lot different, and they'd be a lot better. So in the simple standpoint, when you say like NASCAR isn't that dangerous, NASCAR is a very dangerous sport. I've seen drivers take horrible wrecks, hit the wall at 200 miles per hour, flip over 8 times and walk out. And that's just due down to how safe the car is. NASCAR as a sport, especially with the next gen era, these guys are taking hits that would be at like what 30 G's when it comes to like the hits that they're taking. Some of these guys are taking hits that they've never even taken in their whole career. I believe Eric Almirola had a crash in the Xfinity Series where he said it was the hardest crash of his life, and this guy had a crash where I believe it broke his neck or so, or he had something with his neck injury when it came to that. This sport is not easy to do, and for all these people that are watching, and for all the people that do not know that follow me, if you really go into it and think NASCAR is such an easy sport, NASCAR isn't a dangerous sport, I dare you to watch one of these races. And if you want to watch specifically one of these races, watch Daytona, watch Talladega, or watch Atlanta, and you will find out very, very quickly that NASCAR is not a sport you should joke around with. And I do not play when it comes to NASCAR. I will defend NASCAR to the day I die, because this is the number one sport I love. And I gotta say, in this simple standpoint right now, the one person I have to thank on this God's green earth for my love of NASCAR is my father. Because my father was the one that introduced me to Looney Tunes Back in Action. I watched Looney Tunes Back in Action with my father. And my father and my grandfather were the ones that got me my very first NASCAR game, which was NASCAR 06 Total Team Control. And that was a game that started me playing NASCAR. And ever since then, I played NASCAR 07, I played NASCAR 8, I played NASCAR 9, I played NASCAR Inside the Line, I played NASCAR I forgot NASCAR 11 at the same point. I played NASCAR 14, NASCAR 15. I played NASCAR Heat 1, Heat 2, Heat 3, Heat 4, Heat 5. And then I'm going to be playing the new NASCAR game that's going to be coming out in just a couple of weeks now. So that is my simple passion, is NASCAR. I know I have not talked about it recently a lot, and that is disappointing for me because it is my favorite sport. But even if I don't talk it a lot, I still love the sport to the day I die. This will be the one sport. Soccer will always be there. NFL will always be there. I will always watch these sports, but none of these sports will be the number one sport in my life, because my heart and my passion belongs to NASCAR. I will give everything I have, if it needs be, to NASCAR. Like the current season going on right now, they're about to start into the playoffs. And I'm hoping the guy that I'm wearing the jacket of, William Byron, wins the championship, because I want to see the 24 car win the championship. Do you know how I feel, guys, to know that the year I was born, 1998, was Jeff Gordon's best season, where he won 13 races in a regular season. And since I got into NASCAR, I never got to see the 24 car win the championship. I've seen him come close in many just simple times. I talked about the 2007 season specifically, but there were other times in 2014, and I believe in 2015, he had a very good chance to win the championship. But in the simple standpoint, when it comes to NASCAR, in a general standpoint, this is the sport I love. It's a sport I will never mess with. And for anybody that says that NASCAR is not a dangerous sport and it's just a stereotype of cars going around in a circle, I want to say this to you straight and simple to the point. NASCAR is not a sport like that. You gotta remember, like I said, these guys are going 500 at max 500 miles. The longest race in NASCAR is 600 miles. The Coca-Cola 600. And these guys are going around in a circle, like I said, 180 to 200 miles per hour continuously, every single lap, having to fight with the car, having to fight with a possible tire, having to fight with a possible blown engine, having to fight with cars surrounding them. And these are not these are like, even let's say if it's a spread out field, there's still 20 or so cars going around you. And if cars are like faster than the other, yeah, they have to pass them. And the dirty air does not make it easier. The dirty air actually makes it tougher for you to fight in the car. So it's not easy for these cars to control. Like, I've heard that their driving experiences that NASCAR kind of does, I believe at Homestead. I personally would want to do that eventually and get to ride in a NASCAR Cup Series car. and record it for you guys. So I would possibly do that if I really get the chance to. But the simple backstory for why I wanted to make this video is for everybody that has known me, everybody that is now getting to know me in this certain simple standpoint, for you to understand why it is a sport I love. And yes, I will say this, the main reason as to why I love the sport is Jeff Gordon. If it was not for Jeff Gordon, I would not have so much love for the sport. But it excites me every single time. I'm always on the edge of my seat. You guys can tell when I'm interested in sport. When Jimmy Johnson was winning his five championship streak, I was hoping and praying at certain some of the races that a caution would come out that Jimmy Johnson would wreck at the end, just so he didn't win another championship, because I was passionate enough. I wanted to see Jeff Gordon win a fifth championship, but Jeff Gordon will never win a fifth championship. He is retired. He is right now groomed to be the next head of Hendrick Motorsports. But I'll say this right now: if I were to do a list, and I have this video ready, I had this video talked about and planned. If I were to do a list of NASCAR's 5 greatest drivers of all time, Jeff Gordon's certainly going to be on my list. I can't exclude him on my list. Even though there are other greats like Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, and Jimmy Johnson, I still got to put Jeff Gordon on my list. And I think I will put Jeff Gordon very high on my list. Probably not 1 or 2, but probably at least number 3. But we'll get into that when I make that video. But from a certain simple standpoint, when it comes to NASCAR as a sport in general, this is a sport that gets stereotyped so many times. And I hate to see it so much because it's not that fucking easy. NASCAR is not an easy sport to do. It's not something that you can go out there and just do like this. NASCAR is a sport you have to physically train your body for. You have to be able to ready to take the hits that you're going to be able to take, because at a certain simple standpoint, you can blow a tire like this. You can lose a tire like this. I've seen wrecks. Like I said, I've seen wrecks that have happened and drivers just walk out. 8 flips. Imagine you surviving. Imagine if you're a car and you flip over 8 single times. Do you really think you're going to walk out? No. But that's how dangerous NASCAR truly is. So my final standpoint is for this. For anybody that is watching this video and you still have doubts in your mind about NASCAR not being an exciting sport, I'm gonna tell you to go watch this weekend's race. Go watch Darlington, and you will see specifically why NASCAR is not an easy sport to do, and it's a sport that I've come to love so much.